In this lecture, we are going to discuss about scheduling concepts. We are going to continue the scheduling methodology. Here, generally, we have two types of scheduling problems are there. Those are single machine scheduling problem and flow shop scheduling problem. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about single machine scheduling problem. Coming to the scheduling, scheduling is the allocation of starts and finish time to each particular order. Therefore, scheduling can bring productivity in shop floor by providing a calendar for processing a set of jobs, which means here simply we are giving the times, or we are allocating the schedules, or we are allocating the jobs to the missions, like a calendar activity. How the calendar gives the daily schedules, it means the days and date will provides to us. Likewise, in missioning also we are giving some information, or we are giving some allocations to that missions, and we are providing some operation times. They are all coming under this cost scheduling. Here, the single mission scheduling problem consists of n jobs and with a single operation. Here we have only n jobs with the single with the same single operation on each of the jobs. When the flow shop scheduling consists n jobs and m operations, here the main difference is coming to the single mission. Here we have the n number of jobs, and we are doing the same operation for the 10 number of jobs. The operation was same, but in flow shop scheduling problems, here we have the n jobs, and for n jobs we are doing the n operations. That's why we are taking m operations for that. Here in this problem, all jobs will have the same process sequence. The job shop scheduling problem consists of n jobs with m operations on each of jobs, but in this case, the process sequence of the jobs will be different from each other. For example, if we take the one job, for that job, first we did turning, and then we did uh, threading, then we did some phasing operations. Like that, we are going to perform various operations on the same mission, or on the same job. That is called as the job shop scheduling problem. Yes, here the difference between single mission shop problem and job shop problem, or job shop scheduling. Single mission scheduling, job shop scheduling. Coming to this, here only we perform one operation for job. It may be either turning, or it may be threading, whatever it may be. We are going to perform one job, one operations. Coming to this job shop scheduling, here we are going to perform various operations or different operations on the same job. For example, if you take one job, for that job we are doing the phasing operation, threading operation, turning operation, knurling operation, so on, so like that. We are going to perform the operations on the same mission, sorry, on the same job. Okay, next, coming to the single mission scheduling problem, a deep discussion. Here a single mission sharp scheduling here a single mission sharp scheduling consists of uh, n jobs with the same single operations on each job. So far we discussed about that. Compared to the n jobs admissions, we are going to perform the n jobs into one operation. And here, coming to the concept of this single mission scheduling, here we are going to take a set of independent single operation jobs is available for processing at a time 0. Okay, we are starting at initially 0th hour we started, and we are going to perform that operation, and after completion of that operation, we are sending that into the directly to that warehouse or required places. We are going to send that job. There is no more than one operation we perform in this single mission scheduling. Next, coming to the setup time, here the setup time of each job is independent of its position in job sequence. So the setup time of each job can be included in its processing times. Here there is no need to add the previous job timings, and there is no need to add the there is no need to consider the ideal times for this job. Here we can perform the operations individual manner. Okay, then coming to the job descriptors are in advance. Here we know the job descriptors are in advance. Here next, one mission is continuously available and is never kept idle when work is waiting. Here there is no ideal times we are considering. Why? Because here only we are performing the one job, one operation, so that the reason after completion of the operation immediately we are going to load another job, or immediately we are going to load another job. So there is no ideal times. Continuously we are going to perform the works. Next, each job is processed till its completion without a break. Okay, here if suppose if we start the operation, then continuously we perform the job and we completed the task. Okay, after completion of the job only we are going to the another job. This is about concept of scheduling. uh, Here we are coming to the another one terminology in single mission scheduling. We are using some terms and some terminology in this single mission scheduling. Here we are going to take the jobs we are indicating with the number of 1 2 and so on, and like this we are going to represent the jobs. And here the total number of sequences in the basic single mission problem is n factorial. It means 1 2 3 like that we are giving, which is the number of different permutations of n elements. Here n elements means n different products were taken, and the following three basic data are necessary to describe the jobs in the deterministic single mission scheduling problem. Here we required some data. The data is we are going to take, that is first one is the processing time. The processing time it denotes with tj, t suffix j. Here it is the time required to process job j, and the processing time tj will normally include both actual processing time and setup time. This is called as the processing time. Here we consider the setup time and processing time, that we indicated with the help of tj. Next, ready time. Here the ready time was indicated with rj. It is the time at which job j is available for processing. The ready time of a job is the difference between the arrival time of the job and the time at which the job is taken for processing. uh, Here which was, for example, if we take one job, we are going to load the job to that mission. So that is called as the arrival time we are going to take, and what at what time we started the starting. It means when it will be arrived means at 0th hour it will be arrived to the missioning. So we are going to indicate that rj is equal to, we are going to take 0 hour. Okay, rj equal to, we are considering 0 hour. Next, coming to the due date. Due date, it is the time which job is to be completed. These are the important terms we are used in this single mission scheduling. Next, coming to the completion time. Here, coming to the completion time, it is a time which the job j is completed in a sequence. The performance measures for evaluating schedules are usually functions of the job completion time. Some sample performance measures are flow time, or lateness, or tiredness. Here, in this completion time, we calculated are based on the flow time, lateness, tiredness. These are the terms we used in the completion time. Here, coming to the first one, flow time, it was indicated with f suffix j. It is the amount of job j spends in the system. So indirectly the spends in the system means it was taken, sorry, it is also called as the processing time. Then after processing, the job was completed. So how many hours it was in machining section. So after completion of the machining, the time is called as the completion time. So here we are going to take the spending time is called as the flow time. So flow time is measures which indicates the waiting time of the job in a system. This in turn gives some idea about in process inventory due to a schedule. It is a difference between the completion time and the ready time of the job. Here we are going to take the flow time means flow time is equal to completion time, that is the process time. How many hours it was taken to completion to complete the job into the machining section. Then rj means how, when we started the job. This is called as the flow time. So the flow time was indicated with the cj minus rj. And then coming to another term, that is lateness. Here the lateness was indicated with lj. It is the time, it is the amount of time which the completion time of job j differs from the due date. Here we are going to take the completion time, how many hours it will be taken to complete, or how many days it will be taken to complete the task. That is called as the CJ we are going to take. Then we are going to take the due date. We are going to consider the due date of the customers or due date of the market. So we are going to indicate with lateness LJ equal to CJ minus D. In earlier problem also we solved this lateness by taking the bomb example. Here the lateness is a measure which gives an idea about conformity of the jobs in a scheduling in a schedule or to a given set of due dates of the jobs. Here the lateness can be either positive lateness or negative lateness, whatever it may be, you are going to consider. Coming to the positive lateness, here the positive lateness means the job means that the job is completed after its due date. If suppose we have the due date is 1 week for completion of that project or that product, so we are going to complete that within a week. Otherwise we are going to otherwise suppose if we completed the task into the 2 weeks or 1 week 1 day, like whatever it may be, if the due date extend means that is called as the positive lateness. If the due date before the due date if we complete the project means that is called as the negative lateness. Okay, here the positive lateness is measures a poor service. The negative lateness is measures a better service. Here we have to consider these terms. The positive lateness means delayness. The negative lateness means earlier completion. We can remember this. Then coming to that positive lateness, it is a poor service. If we have the positive lateness means we are providing the poor services. If we have the negative lateness means we are going to provide the better services. In many situations distinct penalties and other costs are associated with positive lateness, but are generally no benefits and are associated with the negative lateness. Here it was often desirable to optimize only the positive lateness. We have to revise that positive lateness. Then coming to the another one is that is the tiredness. Tiredness, it was indicated with TJ. Here the tiredness is the lateness of the job J if it fails to meet its due date or 0 otherwise. So the tiredness TJ equal to maximum of 0 CI minus DJ, where CI means completion time or completion time and DJ means due date. So here we are going to take the tiredness from this maximum of 0 comma CJ minus DJ. So here maximum of this CI minus CJ minus DJ we are indicated with lateness. So maximum of 0 comma LJ, this is called as the tiredness. So this is about terminology we used in the single machining scheduling. We are going to discuss a few more important terms. Those are called as the measures of performance. Here we are measuring the uh, performance of single machining scheduling by taking the mean flow type, mean tiredness, and maximum flow time and maximum tiredness. Here the mean flow time we are calculating with help of this formula, that is 1 by n sigma j equal to 1 to n and fj. Here where n is equal to number of jobs we are performing and fj is equal to, already we know the processing time. And coming to the mean tiredness, t equal to 1 by n and here tj, here fj means flow time, not a processing time. TJ means tiredness we are going to calculate, and maximum flow time we are going to take from maximum of that flow time, and maximum tiredness means we are going to take maximum of the tiredness, and number of ready jobs we are going to calculate with help of nt equal to f of tj, where f of tj is equal to 1 if tj is greater than or equal to 0, or f of tj equal to 0 otherwise. So this is about tiredness. Sorry, this is about scheduling concept. Next, coming to that examples of this single machine scheduling. This single machine scheduling we are going to solve by taking the priority rules. The priority rules already we discussed in yesterday's class. So first we are going to take the first priority rule, that is the shortest processing time. In the shortest processing, by the help of the shortest processing time, we are going to calculate the we are going to solve the single machining scheduling problem. For calculating the sequence of that single machining scheduling, we are using this shortest processing time. Here in the shortest processing time, we are considering the minimum process hours or minimum processing time we considered, and we are giving the order is one for that minimum processing hours, and here the time spent by the job in the system is nothing but its flow time, and rapid turn around time is its mean flow time. Shortest processing time SPT rules are minimize the mean flow time. This is about shortest processing time. Here already we discussed yesterday also. Here coming to the example, in this example we are taken uh, job and processing times were taken. Here the job is 1 2 3 4 5 were taken, and the processing times are 15 4 5 14 8. These are the processing times of the job, and here they ask to find the optimal sequence which will minimize the mean flow time and also obtain the minimum mean flow time. This is the question and we have to solve it. And here they are giving the consider the following single mission scheduling problem. So here we are calculating this optimal sequence, minimize the mean flow time and also obtain the minimum mean flow time. For this solution we are using the we are using the shortest processing time concept. Here we can use any other priority rule also. Here for example we are using this shortest processing time. So here I am going to solve this problem by the help of shortest processing times. Here arrange the jobs as per the shortest ordering. It means the first shortest value is 4, then the next shortest value is 5, then next shortest value is 8, then next shortest value is 14, then next shortest value is 15. So here I am going to rewrite the sequence. Here simply first we are writing the 4, so the job number is 2, and next 5 the job number is 3, next 8 the job number is 5, and next 14 the job number is 4, next 15 the job number is 1. So the sequence starts with the 2 3 5 4 1. Why we are writing this sequence means based on the shortest processing time. So based on the shortest processing time, we rewrite this sequence. Here we are going to calculate the F minimum, that is the flow time, minimum flow time we are going to calculate. The minimum flow time we are calculating here by taking the formula that is here I mentioned f of f bar, that is minimum flow time, is equal to 1 by n into sigma j equal to 1 to n. Here n means the number of jobs. Here total we have 5 jobs, so 1 by 5 I taken. Fj means flow time. We are going to take the flow time. It means we are going to calculate this flow time based on this processing time. For example, first we come into the second job. The second job processing time is 4 hours. So here we loaded the second job with an hour of 0th hour we loaded, and the completion time is 4 hours are required. So the total Fj we are going to calculate with the help of 0th hour and completion time 4 hours. Next coming to the second one, second job, the processing time is 5 hours. 5 hours are required. So we are going to start third one at fifth hour. Third one at 4th hour. After completion of the first job we are going to load the second job. So 4 plus we are going to add the processing time of third job, so 5 hours, that is equal to 9. So likewise we calculated for all jobs, and 5 4 and 1 also we are going to calculate like this. And here the completion times are we calculated 4 hours, 9 hours, 17 hours, 13th 1 hours, 46 hours. These are the completion times for that jobs. And here we are going to add these Fj values. Here 1 by n means n equal to 5. So here Fj means we are going to add this completion times 4 plus 9 plus 17 plus 31 plus 46. Then totally we get 21.4 hours. This is the optimal mean flow time. So in our problem they are asking to calculate the optimal minimum flow time. So we calculated here optimal minimum flow time.